Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Sniper Elite 3, where today we are discussing the game's best missions as selected by my Discord server. If you want to be a part of this series, then do feel free to join the server, the link is in the description. So without any further ado, let's get into this. For our first level, we have my nomination of Belly of the Beast, which was also nominated by Harold Hawkins and Dujares. Belly of the Beast is the second of the game's DLC levels and sees Carl infiltrate the Schutzwallstrecke base, which is spread out along a canyon in some mountains. The level starts with Carl infiltrating a small camp on a plateau above the canyon complex, which is a nice stealth section to get you into the swing of the level before shooting down into the canyon facility and eliminating the guards. Carl then moves into the second part of the canyon, which is guarded by Schutzwallstrecke guards, Raoul Vogel's elite forces, and the Sniper Elite 3 equivalent of the Waffen-SS. From here, Carl must survive a tense close quarters gunfight, engage in a sniper duel with some ghillie snipers, and then the fun really begins, as we are introduced to the Teufelsführer, a specially modified Panzerschreck with a 10-round capacity. For those of you thinking this is like the Neunfaust, with multiple small rockets instead of one big one, you are sorely mistaken, because the Teufelsführer packs full power rockets, which absolutely wreak havoc with the enemies in the final set piece, which is an explosive confrontation with snipers, infantrymen and a half-track. This level is an excellent one because it really lets the player let loose and go a little bit crazy with arguably the most powerful weapon in the series. The beginning section with the camp and then the sniping lures you into thinking that this is going to be your average sniping heavy affair, but when you enter the second part of the canyon and are forced into a close range battle with the Schutzwallstrecke, and then you realise this is no ordinary level. And then, as a reward for having to use a submachine gun in Sniper Elite 3, you get to take the Teufelsführer and lay down some absolute hellfire at the end of this challenging level. It's like a big thank you from the devs, when they're letting you have some proper explosive fun in a game that otherwise strives to be a realistic depiction of World War II era sniping. Halfaya Pass is our next nomination, thanks to Mace and Alex, and I really think they've got a point. Halfaya Pass tasks you with destroying 3 AA guns and a transport depot, and whilst nowadays the task of taking out AA guns is like having to build a house with a Tomy My First Toolbox, in this mission it's very fun, because Sniper Elite 3's level design was much more innovative than Sniper Elite 5's. Each AA gun has to be taken out in a different way. The first one is fairly run-of-the-mill, there are some explosives next to it you have to shoot, and then you have to clear the enemies surrounding it too. However, the second one must be shot from insanely far away from the top of a sniper's tower, and it can't actually be accessed on foot, so you have to shoot it from the other end of the map, which is a really creative way of executing what has now become the bogeyman of objectives. The final AA gun must be destroyed by firing a Panzerschreck at the pile of explosives nearby, which collapses the cave that the AA gun is in. Not only that, but this level excels in just being a level. We get the cool stealth sequence at the beginning, followed by the initial firefight, which is one of the game's best, and then we get the second larger firefight before we get to the main area of the mission, where we face off with snipers, tanks and rocket troopers in a series of climactic battles. It's a brilliant level for stealth players and snipers alike, which is great fun, and it's also an example of how the devs can let you get creative with objectives. Mr. Pickles, Dujares and Sweaty Nerd all said that Kasserine Pass was their favourite in the game, and I can see why. This level has Carl destroy some Nebelwerfers before infiltrating Valen's base in the pass, which is built into an ancient structure in the cliffside. We also get confrontations with both half-tracks and later a Tiger 1, which is always a delight in Sniper Elite 3. This level is made from the ground up for snipers, with a multitude of sniping spots that all offer different engagements at multiple ranges, which keeps the gameplay fresh, as instead of having 5 identical towers which you can use as sniper spots throughout the level, Kasserine Pass has towers, plateaus, mountainside pathways and small hills, all of which offer excellent opportunities to snipe people, whilst retaining great variety. Furthermore, the excellent section after you infiltrate Varlin's outpost, with the elite squad of snipers ambushing you, is excellent fun. My one gripe with this level is that Bauer does next to nothing. You're told that he's going to spot for you, and then he tags one guy and sits the rest of the mission out until he's killed by a tiger tank like a whining beta male, and then you're supposed to feel sad for him even though you've hardly met him before. Other than Bauer though, this is an excellent level, and one I love to revisit. Kulacek said that one of his favourites was Siwa Oasis, which is an excellent level. Siwa Oasis sees Karl infiltrate a walled city to assassinate some officers, and has some of the most tense combat situations in the game. The level has a very non-linear structure, and has you dumped in a farm outside the city walls and tasks you with getting in, before it really opens up and gives you the choice to take out officers or destroy some AA installations. The officer kill tasks you with selecting the right officer to kill, although naturally you can kill all the officers if you'd like, because they're Nazis and that's what they're there for. You get a great vantage point to do this from, and the sniping from here is highly enjoyable. And to top it off, you get to destroy a tank afterwards. This level is fun for being the first level of the game to treat you like a grown-up. It gives you unlimited freedom to decide how you execute the officers, and allows you to decide what order you want to complete the game in. It also pits you against some seriously dastardly enemies, with snipers and tanks to fight against, as well as general infantry, who are laid out in a way to make stealth really challenging and rewarding. This is an excellent level. Bunga Bunga said that one of their favourites was Fort Rifugio, which is a great choice. Fort Rifugio starts you out in an enormous shooting gallery, and a great position to shoot from, and it's one of the most memorable parts of Sniper Elite 3 because of how destructive you can be. Once you've cleared out the first area, you have to move up the hill to the fort itself, which is a great level, because you have to free Brower, and it's an excellent stealth section, and one I have proper fun with. Once Brower is freed, all hell breaks loose as you escort him out of the fort and give him covering fire as he escapes back the way you came, in an all-out battle scene that looks and sounds like it's from a movie, and gives you plenty of sniping action as well. This level works so well because it has some of the best sniping and stealth sections in the game, and the beginning section is masterful, as is the actual fort itself, and it remains one of the most enjoyable missions because of this. It's a lot of fun, and it's one I love to play when I'm on Sniper Elite 3. Harold Hawkins, Kulacek and Robbie all said that Confrontation, the final DLC level, was their favourite, and I have to agree, because I think that this is the first proper example of Sniper Elite 4 style level design in the series. We've had some levels which were similar to Sniper Elite 4's level design, such as Neudorf Outpost from Sniper Elite V2 and Pont du Phare Airfield from Sniper Elite 3, but I think that Confrontation perfectly encapsulates what would later make Sniper Elite 4 so great. The enormous, expansive levels with incredible vistas and set pieces, and multiple ways to tackle each and every challenge. The massive Colosseum in the centre of the map is excellent, and it makes the level feel like something out of a globe-trotting action movie, which is brilliant. We also get a lot of counter-sniping action and some assassinations to carry out, some ultra-long-range combat, and a tank to take down as well. But the most iconic part of the level has to be the face-off against the elite sniper squad and their evil leader and brutal Barracuda's favourite, Raubvogel, the armoured super sniper, who's the closest we've got to a villain who actually poses a physical threat to Karl. I remember the first time fighting Raubvogel, and I remember how incredibly tense it was. I was quite literally on the edge of the seat, and it gave me a feeling the series hasn't been able to replicate since. I also remember my first playthrough of this level, because it was before Sniper Elite 5 had been announced. and I was very worried that Rebellion would quietly go bust over the COVID lockdowns. This of course would mean we'd never get a Sniper Elite 5, and I'd already played every level in V2 and 4, so I knew that there was a very real possibility that this might be the last new Sniper Elite level I ever played. Of course, this didn't end up being the case, but if Confrontation did end up as the last Sniper Elite level I ever played, I would have been happy to go out on such a high. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Remember to like, subscribe and comment. It costs you nothing and it's a great way to help out the channel. Stay safe and goodbye.